Hi guys, I'm Daddy Freeze, convener of the Free the Sheeple movement and leader of the Free Nation in Christ. I greet you and I bring glad tidings. Samaria baby, Sama baby, how you doing? So I don't know if this story is a UK or a US story. Oh, if it's a US story, and I'm going to edit my caption. Forgive me. Um, I just need. Thank you, Destiny Amaka, Sister Mioshegon. US. I'm going to change that. Whether it's US or whether it's UK, I'm going to change that. First of all, I'm going to start by greeting all of you. How are you doing? Very beautiful evening to you all. I'm still not working full time, so do bear with me. I'm trying to keep my videos short so I can catch my breath. I can do things normal people do. My kids are home on holiday. I want to be able to spend time with them, especially the youngest who just went to the uni. I need to be able to spend time with them. So please forgive me if I don't have as much time as I would have loved to. And I also need to catch my breath. I've done this every day of the year, 365 days, including the days I'm flying in the aeroplane. Every single day. Now waiting to tire me with this. I'll call you back, sis. I'll call you, okay? I'm live. Okay. So let us start first of all with this conversation. I know you guys are not going to like my take on this, or some of you might like it, but I'm going to be very honest. You see, it saddens me that. Are you ready? You're coming with your head gear like this. Okay, no problem. I really need time off. Oh, I need time off. I need to rest. It was my friend's sister. Yeah, awesome. So I have a Gen Z here that I invited. Hey, where are we going to keep all my clothes? Okay, you know what's going to happen? Sorry. Move this to my bed. Let me move this chair. It's because of you I kept the chair here. Because I know I'll always be calling you Gen Z. You can move it. Be careful not to cut the curtain. Just pull it out like that. Now move it away. No, there's a full size chair, so you don't sit on half a chair. So while we are even doing this, let me forward the video to you. Hey, don't let it hit my Gucci. Oh. Sorry, I'm vain like that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna send to you. Watch the video.
Send what to me?
What we're gonna talk
My phone
about.
is dead. It's charging.
Okay, I'm gonna give you my phone. You're gonna go into my walk-in closet and you're gonna watch it there. Okay, so you have an idea of what we're talking about. This parent, child, that's my shit. Now the last video. Okay, put it down. It's not for your mom, it's for me. Yeah, press this last video. I don't want you to hear it. I don't because of the copyright of it. Okay. That is the last video on my IG. That's it. Just you can lock yourself in my toilet and watch it there. So I'm bringing Yella. Yella is a Gen Z. So while we wait for Yella, don't forget buy direct from USA.com. Do hit them up for anything you want: clothes, shoes, accessories, designer wear, watches, electronics. Don't go find need that phone. No. Electronics, phones, phone chargers, phone covers, anything you want from the USA delivered to your doorstep in Nigeria. For those of you who are wondering about the video, it is the last video I posted on Instagram about a lady. Oh, yeah, okay, let her finish watching it. It's about how long? So, I need us to have an honest conversation. So, Yella has gone to watch the video on my phone. She's 25 with a baby. And here's my take, my honest take. Nigerian parents need to calm down. And I'll tell you my story. My mom, my mother-in-law, they cannot pray for me in Jesus' name, because I don't believe in Jesus. I don't believe 2,000 years ago a Jewish man lived and answered an English name or a Latin name. I don't believe that. And the whole Jesus ideology does not really echo the ideology of Yahushua, who is the Jewish savior. And the Bible is clear. The Bible in John chapter 4 clearly tells us that salvation is going to come through the Jews. You cannot deny it. It's biblical. So if you have a Jewish savior, but the world didn't want a Jewish savior, they wanted to tailor the savior to suit their own personal agenda, then I'm not going to be a party to it, especially when I'm learned. So when my parents, for instance, my mom loves doing it. Oh, you're going to be well in Jesus' name. I say, thank you, mommy. I never say amen. Sometimes I'll just keep quiet. And that's a message to you. Sometimes I tell her, mommy, please, tone down this Jesus thing. Bless me as your mother, as my mother. That's enough. You don't need to bring in no Jesus that I don't believe in. Especially with all the crusades held in the name of Jesus and all the things they've used this name of Jesus to do, and how they've turned Africa from a bedrock of plenty to a land of poverty, using this same Jesus, and all the false miracles and all the lies that you have. One guy was arguing with me online over Selman. He said, Daddy Freeze, the guy was defending Selman. He said Selman came and said he failed. I said, yes, they always come with excuses. Raise Mobad, he will give you one excuse. Mobad did not have enough faith. He's not always done. God has to be the one to choose. Always excuses. Always excuses. If each time you took a flight, the pilot excused himself and said, please, I don't really know how to fly this plane, but God will let us fly. Will you not come down and report to the airline? But when it comes to religion, the oppressed defend the oppressors. You understand what I'm talking about? Now, I also like healthy arguments. If, for instance, you think something is somewhat, let's discuss it. I don't like religion for the fact that it is closed. You have to believe that Jesus is your Lord and Savior. If you don't believe that, you're going to go to one place where there's plenty of fire, blah, 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 blah. And I come and say, come, there's nobody answered this name Jesus 2,000 years ago, because Hebrew people don't get J for their vocabulary. So I don't know how you guys are going to swing it. And I noticed, I tell my kids all the time, I say to them, I say, look, bring anybody you want home. Bring a Buddhist, bring a Muslim, bring a Shintoist, even bring an Ifa worshiper. Just don't bring a Pentecostal to my house as your husband. Now, problem. I can't deal, especially when they come from Pentecostal family. Any small to one day, let me warn you, it's good that you are here. One day, your mother-in-law will wake up and say that you are the devil in her son's life. And they will start praying and casting you where nothing do you, and they will mess with your mind. Bring anyone, just that Pentecost, just avoid. Especially if in mama na Pentecost, just no carry and come my house. I don't want that kind of problem for you. As in person, they follow me argue. Selman come out, in try raise person. The person no raise. Say in God they train him. Or there was some way he put it. And one guy said, if he was a doctor, let me tell you, 99% of women who are diagnosed with breast cancer are still alive within the first 5 years if treated according to medicine. Take those 99 women and put them inside church, you will see that none of them will be alive in 5 years. You cannot compare. Medicine makes one mistake here, one mistake there. Yes, maybe one big mistake here. Religion is constant mistake. From beginning to end, everything is mistake. None of them saw COVID. They closed their churches for 4 months. None of them saw it. Geo picking the pie, you know, see am. Waiting they come they see. They'll tell you, say, dollar, naira go rise against the dollar. 7 years later, the naira is still falling against the dollar. So, as in religion is just one big set of excuses that you defend, and they are getting rich out. It's not like, you see, when a doctor makes a mistake, he can lose his license. Let me tell you something here. A pilot made a mistake when landing. They deranked him from captain. When your pastor woke up one day and said 5G causes COVID, his church has not reduced by 1%. Religion is that institution. And when I see a generation trying to transfer that to the next generation, then I have a problem with it. If you're watching on TikTok, double click the screen. Pop our money guns. Someone says, why are you a first lady comedian? Why do you always condemning religion? Why? Because of your English. That English you wrote is why. Because that English showcases that your head is the cranial equivalent of the Sahara Desert. It's empty, dry. Dust, they blow up and down. If I put my ear to your ear, now you hear who. Now the Sahara Desert blizzard where they blab, you think they call a sandstorm. There's nothing in your head. Why am I always condemning? Because religion fails all the time. Show me one success of religion. One. Just one. In the last 10 years, somewhere religion succeeded. Just give me one. Nigeria, 10 churches on every street, and we are more corrupt than the people that are practicing satanism publicly. Explain to me, make it make sense. Our women are the second most promiscuous women in the whole world. More promiscuous than the Buddhists, the Shintoists, the Hindus. What has religion done for? We are poorer than the atheists, less, how do I put it? So when you now sit down and you now want to transfer this foolishness by force, the girl says she no want follow you believe what you believe. Respect her to believe what she believe. As a parent, you are supposed to guide your children. And let me tell you, you have to guide. You cannot guide your children if you know no book. You cannot hand over dogma from generation to generation and expect your children to believe your dogma. Because they will ask you questions. Like I asked my parents question. I asked my parents question one day. I said, Daddy, Mommy, they say all the animals in the world were on the ark. There was a flood that covered the earth. But nobody knew there was anywhere called Australia until 1600. Nobody, the whole world did not, Australia did not exist in any text. Australia did not exist. So how can you tell me you had a flood that covered the whole world when you did not know the extent of the world? The world was as far as they could see. Their world did not include America. It included that whole Middle Eastern region. Now, as the world reached to them, that was their world. Nothing past there. That's why you don't see the skeleton of a kangaroo in the Middle East. When they got to Australia, they saw animals they had never seen before. They saw an animal that looks like a duck, mouth of a duck, body of a beaver, a body of an otter, and tail of a beaver, and lays eggs like a bird, a platypus. When they took the carcass of a platypus away from Australia to the Western world, the people thought it was a hoax, that somebody must have sewn this animal together, that it does not exist. This after 1600, you are now telling me that olden days people 2,000 years ago knew there was Australia. Australian. Please. So when you go and meet children, now here's the problem. You carry big money and used to send these children to school. You carry big money. You used to send these children to school. When they get to school, they teach them science. They teach them so many things. But then you want the children to be dumb like you. It's worse when you send them abroad. Because when they go abroad, most of their teachers are atheists. They're going to see that abroad, nobody goes to church. Or very few people go to church. And those who go to, most people do not even share your belief system. You're not going to start any meeting in Jesus' name or with opening prayer. You're going to get to work. You're going to do your work. If you don't do your work, if you like, pray from morning to night, you get sacked. A woman was sacked and deported how many days ago because she prayed for a patient. So when you now send your children abroad, you now still expect them to be dumb like you. As in, I'm sorry, how do you want me to put it? But it makes no sense. If you don't want your children to be exposed, keep them in your house. Let them go to school in your village. And you see, this is the failure of Nigeria. When I tell you, look, if you can't as Christians, I need you inside Instagram here. If you can't as Christians fix your nation, the pagans will raise your children with their beliefs. If you send your child to China, let the child do 5 years in China. It can never come back with the original beliefs you left here with. Same thing with most parts of Europe, even Canada. So your nation has failed, but the part of the things that made your nation fail, you want to imbibe into your children, is not going to work. So before I go any further, don't worry, I don't want to keep you too long so you don't say I'm stressing you, because this matter is really angering me. So go ahead, talk. Let me just hear you out. You're looking fine, by the way. This one that I put bonnet. You just want to show them that you are effortlessly fine.
I'm just tired.
You're tired. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, talk. What are your thoughts? Honestly, though. Let me calm down. You know, my own is plenty.
You have to give me a more direct question.
Okay, she said, my narcissistic and abusive mom holds me hostage while I try to move out. Apparently, the girl is 25 years old and she has a child. The first video, uh, had her telling her mom she doesn't share her own belief systems. She believes in her own type of spirituality, and the mother said she was a cult member, blah, 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 blah. From watching this video, what are your thoughts?
I mean, even if she is a cult member,
Okay.
what do you want to do? Or what exactly does she want to do?
You know how the mother is. I plead the blood of Jesus over you. Jesus will deliver you. Jesus is going to help you. You are going to go to hellfire. I heard those words when I was growing up. Yeah, okay. I don't teach my kids that there's no hellfire. I don't teach them that there's no consequence for whatever behavior they have. But at the same time, how do you get your children to think if you transfer dogma to them? Dogma are your beliefs that have
but
no...
she said she also has her own form of spirituality.
Mm-hmm.
It's also, like, I feel like, I'm not saying it would be easier with an atheist, but, like, with people who don't believe in anything, there is vacancy. Alright? So if she believes in something and she's 25, something has occupied her mind. So you can't use the fear of what's going to happen if you don't believe in your own kind of religion, because if she believes in her own kind of spirituality, there obviously has to be some kind of consequence that follows for not seeing things in her own kind of light. Yeah, so how do you remove what she believes in and put yours?
You see, the problem is
How do
she
you
probably
convince her?
got tired. I remember asking the kids once when they were like, I asked you then, maybe you were 15 or 14. I said, did you like going to church as a kid?
No.
And they all said no. And I thought they liked going to church, you know? And growing up in my house, they used to wake us up to pray every morning. I thought about it. I said, if I put them through it, they will hate religion. They will not want to worship God. So I said, okay, once a week, we have a 45-minute session, prayer meeting, and everybody must attend. Then we have our service on Sunday. After that, there was a time I used to tell them, wake up, guys, and pray every day, pray by yourselves, gather yourselves together and pray. They're not going to listen. So you need to usher them into it gradually. And you also need to understand that as hard as it is, we're going to have to change the way we sell religion. And you people never say anything. No? All of you wait Japa. Now so your children go do you. Go ahead.
Now, this thing that you just said about you have to change the way you sell religion, that's the thing. It's only religion that can be sold. Yes, I don't think you can ever sell spirituality, no matter how much you want to influence it or manipulate it into somebody's life. I'm not trying to sound pessimistic or like a nihilist or something, but I do believe that everybody is still going to have to find spirituality for themselves. No matter how much your parents are going to imbibe it in you. It's the same way everybody prays. I'm just going to say everybody prays, everybody I don't know, sings praise and worship, and but like it's only a few people who get to that level where they speak in tongues. Why? Do you understand what I'm
Mhm.
talking? God doesn't give it to everybody. I still feel like you can try your best to influence it, but you can only sell
In
religion.
Nigeria, they teach tongues. Oh.
But you can't sell spirituality.
You can't. In
You can only
Nigeria, they
sell
will teach you how to
religion.
speak tongues. Say, open your mouth. Anything that comes, re, re, be, ro, go, ha, ra, ra, ra. Before you know it, you don't they do rabba, cha, re, be, te. They teach. They taught me at a point when I was in Pentec church. They taught me how to speak in tongues. And I thought I was speaking in tongues until one day my brain shut off. I said, come, am I not joining these people in this foolishness? So yes, you're right. Spirituality cannot be sold. If you have an epiphany, and then you grow in it, is different. But let me ask you a question: how she was talking to her mom? Do you
Mm,
think it is right?
it's not right.
It's not right.
It's not meant to be right.
It's not meant to be right.
Yeah, it shouldn't happen.
It shouldn't happen.
But I mean,
But guess what?
in that case,
You
the mom
jackpot.
did that. I don't know.
You jackpot. And you are trying. You see, Nigeria failed you. You ran away from Nigeria. But what made Nigeria fail you? You want to take it abroad. It's not going to work. One of the main reasons why the children abroad or why the people abroad are prospering is because they do not have the inhibitions of religion.
See, I just have a question for some people, right? Because like, before you are a daughter to anybody or you're a mother or whatever, you're a human being and you have a
Mm.
cup and you're going to get full, right? So everybody who's going to say she's uncultured, she's this, she's that, like, I just want to know if your mom, this isn't what happened in this case, but if your mom ever put a knife to your throat, are you going to die because she's your daughter? Sorry, because you're her daughter.
Mm.
Like, I just need to understand because, like, before you're anybody's daughter or you're anybody's mom, you're a human being. So, how much are you going to take because she's my mom?
Mm.
Because I think people just assume that because I came out of her, she's an angel. You
Mm.
guys are children. Some people are children to the worst people on earth.
Mm.
So, I don't understand.
Mm. 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 Absolutely. And if you don't see the failures of religion, your children are going to see them. And if you don't, and if your children miss them, your grandchildren are going to see them. They say they are holding one very special program they hold every year. Say person collapse, buy there. They rush the person, go hospital, the person still buy. What's that?
Oh,
What's making that noise?
I don't know, but I don't think it's from here.
I don't like to hear noise that they always fear. You understand? So it's extreme, but it's what happens when you raise your children abroad. Some children are going to turn against you, and they know there's. You see, in Nigeria, and your pikin go still the fear say if you give them blue. Your pikin go still the fear. You go still dey their mind say came fit meet them abroad. And let me tell you something here. You try this abroad. Do you know that girl's gonna have to go for therapy? Do you realize that that girl's gonna? You see, Nigeria, a normal thing. They go shout for it, shout for it, shout for it. Cost you. In a normal way. That abroad, what happened to that girl is not normal. That girl is gonna feel very bad. She's gonna feel depressed. She's gonna need therapy. She's going to need therapy, and she's going to suffer from RTS, religious trauma syndrome, which is a form of advanced PTSD. Now, you also need to understand one thing here. Yeah, go ahead.
But rich, like that's what I'm going. But rich, like the thing is, even as much as you want to make, because there are some things when people do it, it's like you're acting very white right now. Like that's just my way of saying, okay, you're being too dramatic. Do you understand? It's not that deep. But in Nigeria, the thing is, some things are not as deep as it should be, right? There was this thing that's circulating across the internet about a girl who was being flogged by a male Sunday school teacher or something like that. Tell me how you're not going to have PTSD from that.
Religious trauma syndrome is already
Tell me, like at
PTSD.
the end of the day, I wasn't raised abroad, and
And
I'm still telling you,
Sunday school
it's
teacher used to flog you.
like I grew up hating my Sunday school teacher, and it's weird. I'm just gonna say it because like, imagine a child, and this, no matter how crazy abroad might look, right? Imagine a child in Nigeria being happy that their teacher died because the teacher used to beat them. But that's how you make your children. Do
Hmm.
you, because you will beat us for the craziest reasons. One day they said that, oh, she's not coming to school today because she's sick. You seem like,
Hmm.
I don't remember that she's sick. Oh. I don't know, she didn't come to church today.
Hmm.
Let me collect my cream crackers and my capsule and be stepping.
Hmm. Hmm. And you see the traumatic situation. All of you don't want Nigeria, but you want to raise your children abroad. Do you think people abroad were raised with die by fire prayer? When your children go to that abroad, eh, and they see that other people's parents don't pray die by fire prayer, they'll start to look at you weird. They'll start to question you. UK people, they disown them, say that US. What is the girl's handle? Can somebody tag the girl? I want the girl to come. Let's even hear from her. Can somebody tag the girl? Once somebody says, once your child leaves for abroad, just know the child will have a mind of her own. They are brought up to be very independent at a very young age. 100%.
But that's the thing, you're not meant to send your child abroad and be doing. She's going to become her own
Okay, her
person.
name is Paula Ifeanyi.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Let me
People are
see.
not meant to send their children abroad and then be doing. She's going to show us her true colors. Her true colors are meant to be pretty. Why are you afraid of who your daughter could be when you're not around?
Hmm. Her name is Paula Ifeanyi. Is that her really?
Because that's so weird.
Okay, this is the girl's page. She even has a child. I feel for the mom though. The mom did not, she not bargain for what she got. Let me bring her. Let me see if I can send her a message. Hello, sis. Saw your story with your mom. Would you mind joining us live? Okay. People go, don't cost, I'm tired. Your upbringing really matters. Can you please tag her though? So let me bring her. If you're watching on TikTok, double click the screen. Follow my number one gift. Oh yeah, pop my money guns. Pop my money guns. Yes, that's right. Pop my money guns. Someone said my son started calling me dude, calling me bro. Baby Freeze, they call me dude and bro. He does. He sent me one message one day. I screenshotted and posted it. Said, bro. He wants to greet me, says, yo. Where is he? Is he back?
No, he's still at mommy's office.
Ah, Baby Freeze will come out yesterday with a fight with him, with Kane on top in result. Inside, he still they dribble us. So let me see if I can bring. All right, for light on Coca. Your mom should have allowed her though. Holistic coach. Hot mom, how are you doing? For light
Hi,
on.
Daddy.
How are you?
Hello, Daddy. How are
Where
you?
is Kola?
Lagos.
Hey. Just show him this. Take a screenshot. He'll understand.
I'll send it to you now.
Send it to him. Anyway, go ahead. What are your thoughts?
First of all, I really do not agree with her mom. Trying to force religion on a grown-up woman. You understand? And second of all, at age 25, if you don't want to be spoken to like that, why are you still with mommy? Abby, you are 25. Why are you still with your mom? You know, if you don't want the disrespect, if you don't want the what do you call it, the bossiness from your mom, what you need to do is to move up at age 18 or 19, safe, you know, and start having your own life. You know, but you don't say rent no day easy. Daddy Freeze, are you there?
I'm right here. Oh, na NEPA carry light.
Sorry, I don't forget.
You don't forget saying as soon Naija day.
Yes, I don't forget. You know, so why is she still with her mom? And again, sometimes I really don't understand why Nigerian parents just think that you should force your kids to pray, to go to church, to do things. Why can't you just emphasize on your kids being good individuals? Just good individuals. If they are good, everything follows. You know, it doesn't have to be. They don't have to be Christian. They don't have to be Muslim. They don't have to be Hindu. I told you of the story of my half brother. He came home one day and told my dad that, Dad, I want to be Hindu. You know, that I'm already Hindu. And my dad followed him to the temple to go and see where he was worshiping, and asked it. Before my dad followed him, he said, "Look, son, as long as you are going to be a good human being, I'm cool with you. You know, as long as you are going to be a good human being, I am cool with you." And my dad followed him down to the temple to see where he was worshiping and to meet the people that he was worshiping with. You know, Daddy Freeze, you see my son now, he's just 11. Look at the question he's asking you.
Yeah, so her son asked me question. Let me even read out the question so you guys can hear. It also happened to my little nephew. You know him, I don't want to mention his name, the one that stays in UK. The older one, you know him. So he because he lost his grandmother on his dad's side, and he prayed to God and God didn't answer him. He said he doesn't believe in God again. It's as simple as that. So we now had to tell him that no, that's not how God, because you see, when you sell that, oh, what God cannot do does not exist, you are selling a failed concept.
Yep.
Nigeria is evidence that God cannot do any miraculous work in a country. Nigeria is evidence. What God cannot do does not exist. People were the ones telling us that angels were watching over the
ballot
boxes. Please, with this, let me just keep quiet. Let me read what her son sent me. He said, "Hello, Daddy Freeze. This is Olaiton's son. I asked my religious education teacher a question and she told mom, so my mom said I should ask you. It is said that God created the whole universe, but the Bible only explains how earth was created. This leads me to believe that the creation story is just a fable. What I believe is that the universe was created in the Big Bang and all the elements of the universe were formed. After that, then those elements went on to become stars and planets like Earth. I've heard you say a lot about how Nigerians are scammed by pastors using the Bible as a figurative weapon, just like the Oyinbo man did when he came to Africa and Asia. So I want to ask you if I should believe everything the Bible says or not." Now, so I first sit down for like 5 minutes and they look, say, where do I want to start? How old is he?
11.
Hey, see what 11-year-old. Now this one I want to tell, say, what God cannot do does not exist. Go, they laugh you.
Daddy Freeze.
So I said, listen to my response. I said, hello. Wow. Lovely hearing from you. The Bible is an amazing work of literature, but sadly, it's neither a book of facts nor a science journal. He said, thank you. I said, it does contain some facts, but you need to study to separate the facts from the fables. He said, thanks a lot. I think so too. It does contain some facts. There are some facts in the Bible. But you see, the problem is people emphasize more on the fables than the
Yeah.
facts, and they lose the audience therein. I say this all the time. Burj Khalifa is 2,700 feet above sea level. Some people stay in the highest room and they've not reached heaven. Mount Everest is 27,000 feet above sea level. People climb it to the top every year, and from there they don't go to heaven unless they die. Then you want to tell me that olden days people in the book of Genesis built a tower that reached heaven? Olden day people built a tower that reached heaven. The Tower of Babel.
Tower of Babel, yeah, I remember the story.
How tall could it have been? Could it be as tall as Burj Khalifa?
At all.
This thing that they are saying is probably 7 feet or 8 feet, 8 stories.
3-story buildings. If it be 3-story building.
If it be 3-story building, Petesi. You know, have you know what the foundation it takes to erect a high rise? So olden days people that did not have toilet in their house, dudes was using the bush as a bathroom. With shovel, they would go and dig inside the bush. They now built a tower that got to heaven. Aeroplanes. It's not that they even built a tall tower. First of all, I don't agree that they built a tall tower. They built what looked like a tall tower to them.
In those days.
But for you to even say it got to the heavens, do you understand that aeroplanes fly at 41,000 feet and they've not gotten to heaven?
At all.
Last time I was doing my live on my flight from Qatar to Lagos, flying at 36,000 feet. I was showing the 36,000 feet, and I did not from there go to heaven. It is now olden days people that don't have toilets in their house that now built a tower that got to heaven, and you believe it. And then you are telling me if I don't believe it, I cannot be a Christian. I don't have to believe that to be a follower of Christ. And that's what we need to teach our children. What is the message of Christ? Can we focus on the message and leave the fables? Because the fables will eventually expire. The message of love never expires.
It never expires.
The message never expires. The fabu, it dey expire. One day somebody will sit you down and say, come. Moses stretched his rod. That didn't come out right. Moses stretched his stick. And then the Red Sea parted. Really? It's just like one Baba that went to America and said he prayed and God turned winter to summer. We're just asking, please give us the date so we can go and check the weather report for that year. Just give us the dates. We will dig it out for you. So that, I don't know. What are your thoughts, Yella?
Wait. Did you just talk about the whole
What?
sea parting?
Yes.
So that did not happen.
I'm not saying it didn't happen. I'm saying, can we see some evidence? Can we see some evidence? Can we?
Wait, Daddy.
Yeah,
Wait, Daddy.
Winter.
Wait. Can I say something? As much as I know you like to be logical and I'm a man of science and all that, right? Even if you want to say some evidence, right? We don't believe in Jesus, but we believe in Yahushua.
Okay.
Right? We still believe in how he was conceived, right?
Okay.
But do you want to see evidence?
We're not going to go there because that's another juncture. And it's advanced stage. You are in advanced stage.
Yeah.
This is a conversation for Vic and I. I'm keeping this conversation closed.
Why?
Because it's advanced
Vatican.
stage. It's the Vatican conversation. But you see, what I mean by evidence is, have you forgotten that the Bible is supposedly a Jewish rendition of the history of their people?
Yeah.
Remember that Egypt was the first civilization.
Yeah.
And they have their own version of the historical events.
Yeah.
When studying Christianity, I studied Egyptology, not as a major, but as one of my minors, not in uni, but. And all the Egyptology professors I spoke to all said, and I quote, that there was no exodus, no mass movement of that whole Moses Aaron story, that it never happened according to the available evidence in Egypt.
Mm-hmm.
And it never happened under Pharaoh Ramses, as claimed in the Ten Commandments by that Oyinbo book. The body of Pharaoh Ramses is still available. If you want to see it, go to Egypt, you will see it there. It's still mummified in good condition. It didn't happen under Ramses' father or Ramses' son. This is evidence. This is proof. This is a conversation. Do I believe it happened? For the sake of the biblical narrative, I believe it happened. But my argument always is
Wait, wait. For the sake of biblical narrative, you
yes,
believe what exactly happened?
that Moses led the Israelites out of Egypt.
Why are you giving the biblical narrative?
Because that's the only narrative
No,
that backs it up.
that's why you're giving it a sake.
For the sake, because there's a biblical. Now you need to understand that the Bible is a narrative.
Mm-hmm.
It explains something. It's figurative. And that's why I teach you guys that there's the allegorical and there's the anagogical interpretation of scripture.
But also, Daddy Freeze, you see,
Mm-hmm.
when we talk about Egypt, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's not just Egypt, it's Egypt and Sudan all together.
Oh yeah.
That, yeah. But people always take out that part of Sudan when it comes to civilization.
Osae, he says it did
Sudan,
not happen. A smaller group may have fled
Sudan,
Egypt, but not a mass exodus as reported biblically.
Sudan, I'm not talking about the Exodus now, but I'm talking about the civilization as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't just Egypt, it was Egypt and Sudan, all that part of town, I would say, had the, civilization, not just Egypt. Because in Sudan, we have more pyramids in Sudan than in Egypt.
Now, somebody said something, Faye. She said, well, it's possible that the Egyptians expunged the shameful incident from their history. Not very likely. Because just as
Shameful incident.
that they left them and they embarrassed them, yeah. But you see, you need to understand that just as there is Tinubu, there is Peter Obi. So there are the writings of Tinubu, APC, and there is Peter Obi countering what Tinubu is saying. So the Egyptian scholars and leaders did not have a unified voice. There were many different speculative writings. There were those writers that ran into hiding, that the government was chasing. You understand? So there's no what you call an there's a name for it. There's no academic consensus. Now, also remember that there are people who are digging. There are the archaeologists who are digging. There are the Egyptologists. There are the Egyptian libraries. There are those who study hieroglyphics. All of them have come out to say, all Egyptian scholars have come out to say that it did not happen. I don't preach this because you can't preach this to people that believe what God cannot do does not exist. You cannot take them away from that bubble they are in and bring them into somewhere where they need to think. They can't think. They're already locked. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So there might have been a possibility that they did it to cover their shame, but I doubt it because there's no archaeological evidence of it.
You see, the thing is, you
Somebody
see,
now took it to another level. He said there is academic consensus that Moses did not exist. I'm not gonna go there, bro. Bro, I'm not gonna go there.
the thing is that one thing about archaeology is that they are still finding, they are still finding new things, and they can't find all these things, all these facts now. It's still going on.
Someone like Sandra Love said, rest. You are the problem of Nigeria.
See, the thing is, even if they find all these facts now,
Let me explain something to you. Sorry, when the King James Bible was translated, they had not found the Nag Hammadi library. They had not found the Dead Sea Scrolls.
Exactly.
One of the reasons why the King James Bible is the least reliable rendition of scripture is because it uses the least accurate scrolls. NIV, NLT use the more modern scrolls, not the more accurate scrolls, because as time went on they kept discovering more scrolls, and the more scrolls they discovered, they now started realizing that, oh wow, this is more reliable than this. You understand? The whole Dead Sea Scrolls, when they found the Dead Sea Scrolls, it changed the narrative and the perspective of Bible totally. Let me bring somebody else. You were about to say something, Yella.
I'm not even sure if it's related anymore.
Say it, say it. Whatever you feel like saying, please say it.
She said something like it's not possible to find all those facts now, all the evidence
Mm-hmm.
now. And I was just thinking, like, even if they did find it now, there are people who died yesterday, there are people who died a week ago, a year ago.
Who quiet, yes.
Do you understand? Who were never fortunate to see these facts. So, like, what do we do with what we have now? Because we're going, I don't know how to explain what I was thinking about,
I,
but like,
I,
because
I think
I will probably grow old and we will not have all the answers. So like, what do we do with
exactly
what we have
right.
now? Because we can't keep fighting over who has the best imaginary friend, what's working. Like, do people never think of things like that?
You see, Mama Tuzi has raised a very, very, very deep concern. Could it also be that what our ancestors claimed as supreme beings were actually aliens from advanced civilizations? 100% possible. Let me read a scripture for you from the Bible. Hold on.
But I don't understand turn into conspiracy theory.
I just want you to open your mind and listen to this. 2 Kings chapter 2 verse 1. When the Lord was about to take Elijah up to heaven in a whirlwind, Elijah and Elisha were traveling from Gilgal. And Elijah said to Elisha, "Stay here, for the Lord has told me to go to Bethel." But Elisha replied, "As surely as the Lord lives and you yourself live, I will never leave you." So they went down together to Bethel. If you now jump a little bit, because they're talking about what happened all the way. Okay, I think we're here. Verse 11. As they were walking along and talking, suddenly a chariot of fire appeared, drawn by horses of fire. It drove between the two men, separating them, and Elijah was carried by a whirlwind into heaven. Sounds like an
Abduction.
alien
Abduction.
abduction. 100% sounds like an alien abduction. It sounds funny, but I'll give you evidences. You see, if your mind is not closed, if you can open up your mind, you will think about it. Chariots of fire. Listen to this. Listen to this. Just open your mind. If you ever watch any alien movies, just go to Ezekiel chapter 10. Just with your mind open. Listen with your mind open. Sorry, I'm waiting for my Ezekiel 10 to open. Verse 1. In my vision, I saw what appeared to be a throne of blue lapis above the crystal surface over the heads of the cherubim. I want to jump down to, okay. Just hang on. Listen to this. Verse 9, Ezekiel 10:9. I looked, and each of the 4 cherubim had a wheel beside him, and the wheels sparkled like beryl. All the 4 wheels looked alike. They were made the same. Each wheel had a second wheel turning crosswise within it.
That's crosswise.
Anti-clockwise.
That's what crosswise.
Yes, like this. A wheel turning within. Are you listening? Are you listening? The cherubim could not move in any. The cherubim could move in any of the 4 directions they faced without turning as they moved. They went straight into the direction they faced, never turning aside. Just read those. Both the cherubim and the wheels were covered with eyes. The cherubim had eyes all over their body, including their hands, their backs, and their wings. I heard someone refer to the wheels as the whirling wheels. Ask anyone who has had an alien encounter, they hear whirling wheels. Just Google alien whirling wheels. So, you see, I'm not saying this is proof that aliens existed, but I'm also saying that there is no proof that they didn't exist, or this is not proof that some advanced life form did not come visiting us.
But don't Egyptian hieroglyphics and things support
aliens? Oh yes, they did. Egyptian hieroglyphics. Here, you've entered my tongue.
I don't remember how it was.
Hieroglyphics support alien activity, spaceships. So at the end of the day,
because apparently they couldn't have built the pyramids by themselves, according to what I watched.
Anunnaki, Shupovon, hieroglyphics. Thank you very much. She tied my tongue. So, do I believe in aliens? Here's my response. How many planets do we have in our solar system?
Jimmy, how many planets? 7 or 9? 7. 9. How many? 7. You say it depends.
What they taught me isn't what they taught Jensen.
What did they teach you?
Yeah?
I don't know if it was 9, but if it was 9, it should be 8 now.
What you're talking about? If it's a solar system, it could be on 9, depending if you count in the dwarf planets, or if it's the galaxy. They're like, you don't know how many planets there is, because of course we haven't actually explored the whole galaxy in depth.
Okay, fantastic. He just brought. You see, whether he said 7 or he said 8 or he said 9 what the answer I'm trying to look for is we don't know how many planets are in our solar system. There's an argument. And guess what? Just Google with me. How many solar systems are in the Milky Way? Milky Way is our galaxy. I'm not talking of planets, so just Google how many solar systems in Milky How many solar systems in Milky Way? The latest data collected by NASA indicates that there are 3,916 solar systems.
Yeah, I never knew the one.
3,916, not planets, so solar system.
Yeah.
That is 3,916 suns. Because for you to have a solar system, you have to have a sun with planets orbiting around this sun.
But we don't know that because if we haven't explored the solar system in depth,
Yeah, how do you know they're meant to have
planets
suns?
will be forming and we just don't know about it.
Which is a fantastic contribution. Do you know the next galaxy next to us, the Milky Way? Do you know the next galaxy?
You said what?
Andromeda.
Andromeda. God bless you. So we don't know what's in our solar system for sure. We don't even know what's in our Milky Way. And we're going to sit down here and tell you we know what happens everywhere, including Andromeda, when we have not even gone beyond our solar system. So what am I trying to say is you cannot know, and the Bible is not text accurate enough to tell you whether aliens exist or not. The Bible always has a black and white definition for everything. It's either good or evil. So if it's not human, it's not angels, then it must be demons. That's one of the problems we have with religion. Absolute thinking.
Well, we can't even tell what the angel would look like.
According to Ezekiel chapter 10, you see, there are different types of angels. How do you know the angel was not an alien? 100%. You see, these are the narratives.
An alien in every, what's it called? In every meaning of the word alien is just like when they say something is alienated, it doesn't necessarily mean it's this gooey blue thing that has one eye. Do you understand? Alien, it's basically anything you can't understand. You don't identify it to be any animal that has been discovered or anything that looks like a human being. That's what they would classify as an alien. So.
How much say milk? This our Milky Way is peak milk. No. Allah, I tell your son is brilliant. Our stem mind.
Daddy Freeze, you don't want to understand.
You cannot be dense. You have a child like this and you want to now be forming the Lord will deliver you. What God cannot do does not exist. They will just respect you that it's their mommy and they love you.
No, don't worry. They will not respect you. They will just tell you that, Mom, no. Straight up. They don't. Actually, you met them the other day.
Yes, now I met them in church.
They straight to the point. They know they do all that passy. They'll just tell me straight. They don't have time. You know. And sometimes, you know, in as much as I want to be traditional with them, a traditional parent, you know, I'm sorry, I also want to have a balance, you know, and also make sure that they don't come out dense, you know, they come out outspoken and they say their mind. So sometimes when they say some things, I just tell them, you know what, just go and read about it and find out yourself, you know, or ask your teacher and have a discussion, you know.
Steady, thank you so much for your gifts on TikTok. Thank you so much. If you're watching on TikTok, buy my money guns, support the channel. Voltage King is here and Yetunde, aka Mama Tuzi, is here. So who goes first? Yetunde came first. You have something to say, or should we hear him out first?
I greet you, Daddy Freeze. I greet you, sir.
I greet you, Voltage King. How are you doing?
I'm okay. I'm okay. I just cool what finish us for this side.
Hey.
See, Daddy Freeze, I get something to talk for this matter real quick because I won't go hustle like this. This the video, as regards the video, I feel like because I asked one question, where is the father? When stuff like this are going on, the role of a dad can never be underestimated because if you look the issue now, when the girl they talk, I hear her talk about, oh, my daughter this, my like, the mom don't allow her to go out and all that stuff. That means the papa not did their life. That same girl now, I believe, say, your husband or your boyfriend or whatever, not did their baby life. So if you look at the error is coming from day one, not even today, this matter don't day. I remember when we grew up that time, my papa that time when we grew up, he not believe in God. All those they are juju matter. But we did under a roof. We not get choice. We have to do whatever he wants us to do. Now when we don't grow, we don't pay our own bills, we don't know our life be. When we come house, if we want to talk to our dad about, okay, daddy, not be this way, that the night life be, God is the only way and all. We don't be talking with respect because the old man don't teach us. I'm on live video. The old man don't teach us how to coordinate life. You understand? Even my 2-year-old daughter, I noticed something that if my wife call her, Adira, come here. Sometimes maybe they busy, they do her play and all that. Sometimes it don't take her a while to come. But as soon as she hear daddy's voice, when he hear that big voice, there's it that he get why God put man and woman. Say me, man, you don't be play both roles. You don't get how. So when she hear my voice, are you not the one mommy is talking to? The speed where she take it follow up. So what am I trying to say? The whole thing when the mom they try, coordinate her, you must do this. I feel like it don't too pass. So
make I also use style tell you one thing. There are many widows where their husband buy and they raise children by themselves. There are many women where their husband they wicked and they had to raise children by themselves. I understand where you are coming from. It is always better to have two parents, but in some situations, in many situations, it is almost impossible to have that two-parent factor. And trust me, it's going to get even worse because this Japa is going to create a lot of problems. It's not every man or woman that can survive marriage abroad under Japa. I'll give you why. Nigerian men like authority. If you want to keep your family abroad and have authority, you have to be wealthy. Nigerian women are used to being given money.
Yeah.
When you go abroad, ain't nobody gonna give you no money. You're gonna work together, save together, and contribute towards these common goals of the family. So it is going to be a culture shock for both of you. You, where you watch your mama, once it's time for soup, she go do her hand like this. You were raised with that philosophy. You now go abroad. You think your money. See Yetunde where they abroad. You think she's not rich. Why is she wearing low cut? Because that money for that wig is going to go into something for the house.
That is true.
Nigerian woman, if Yetunde for like this, what she's earning, if she was in Nigeria, she will earn it. It is her money. She will buy wig. She will bend her bosom. Because it is her money. As she has earned it, they're not born her husband well. Make it come say, hey, Yetunde, inside today's salary, give me half. Now him go still give her money. If she decides, say she won't be nice lady, say, let me even pity this my husband. He has been suffering since. Let me bring £5 and add it to the house money. Abroad, they not born you. You not go even get as your salary they come, your husband's salary they come. Una they lump them together like this. Goa, rent.
That is true.
Children's school fees. I mean, for the college and all. You are paying your mortgage. You want to get a better house. You want to pay insurance. You want to have a good life. So by the time, and then you want to have something back home. So you want to have a land at home or something. One day if they say they don't like your face for America again, at least you get where they go back to.
Yes.
Then you get family. You see, when you did Nigeria, if you tell last I did like my daughter say, Daddy, I need 5K. I don't have finish. If I did America, they don't born me where to tell and say I not get. So
no, you visit talk now. You visit say you don't get.
No. They don't go find out. Before you know it, they go table your matter for village setting. Say yesterday is stingy. You understand what I'm saying, my sister?
Yes.
So
yes,
that culture shock is going to create more single homes. Because women, where they used to collecting money from men, are not going to believe what their eye are going to see when they get to that abroad. And men that are used to tell their women, hey, you sit down, shut up, quiet, they are going to get abroad, they are not going to believe what's going to happen to them. So if you think it is bad now, just watch the next 5 years. You'll be lucky to see 10% of marriages still alive. Marriages that were doing well in Nigeria are going to scatter abroad. It's a prophecy, not from anywhere spiritual, but from the logic that we're seeing. So I don't want us to put anything on single mother households. Many women are going to end up being single. One of my sister that just got married was a single mom for a long time before she got married. And her daughter is well brought up. Well brought up. Because even though I wouldn't even say single mother, the father is in her life. But you see, the father is not there 24/7. Yes, he'll be there to once in a while. But you see, we also need to cut women slack, because if we say, oh, I see all these theories, single households are bad, they don't raise children well, blah, blah, blah. If you have both your parents together and the two parents have sense, thank God. If you don't, make the best of what you have.
Yeah.
We can't blame, you see, I blame the mother for being traumatized, and I call it transference of trauma. The mother is traumatized. She doesn't understand that religion was something that was given to her by the people who stole away what she really had. Religion is the imaginary thing they gave you. Open your hand. I say, right now I'm going to put you some gold in your hand. With this gold, you're going to buy everything you need. I put gold there. Now for this gold, I'm going to take your earring. So I'm going to take something you really have, and I'm going to give you something imaginary. They gave us religion. They took our oil. They took our cocoa. They took our uranium. They took everything we had, and they gave us this imaginary thing that will solve our problems, while they took our real things to solve their problems. So she still believes in that imaginary thing. Oh, this thing is going to solve all our problems. And statistically, countries that are religious are impoverished. The more religious a country, the more poor they are. Let me allow Yetule to talk.
Hi, Dad Chris. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, my darling sister. Go ahead.
I just have to ask that question. So, going on this ladies' listen, I'm happy that you addressed the issue of single parent is probably the reason for that and everything. It seems like even in joint household where you have both father and mother, like your daughter said, they didn't like their teacher, their religious teacher. You didn't like that person. So, and that is your dad and your mom telling you to go to church and this person teaching you. A lot of times, parents in Nigeria, I remember when I was like 8 years old, and my Quran teacher comes to the house and they will teach something. And I've always been a very inquisitive child. And I asked question. I pushed back at a narrative. Like, I didn't believe that it didn't make sense, just like, Olaiton's son did. And my mom was quick to say, no, beautiful. So, but luckily, my teacher was like, no, let her ask question. The Quran supports that. The Quran says you should seek clarification, seek knowledge. You should not just take everything just because they sell it to you, then you take it and you don't question it. Islamically, you are allowed to seek guidance. So, when I saw this lady's first video, that was last week, with her mom binding and casting that she was becoming the devil's bride because she didn't want to be a Christian. It's quite unfortunate, and it's disheartening as a mother myself that happened between mother and child. That shouldn't have happened, but we don't know what's been going on behind the back, behind the camera. But she never said, at no point did she say she does not believe in God. She only said, I do not want to be part of a particular religion. I don't want to belong to a religious sect. And I think the disconnect is our mom doesn't even understand what she means by spirituality. And not knowing the difference between religion and spirituality is what is giving us problem in Nigeria. Exactly. Our own spiritual thing is her personal experience, our personal connection with God. There's overlap between religion and spirituality, and that is where the belief is, the comfort is, what you do, the ethics and everything. The religion, which is the rites and the rituals and belonging to a community, that is what religion gives you. Spiritual is like people being extrovert and introverts. Introverts just want to be by themselves. They like to do things individually. Extrovert like myself, we want to be everywhere with people, hang with people, be part of a community. And she just doesn't want all of that. And mom is not respecting that. And we need to learn to respect that as a parent.
Sorry to cut you short.
Yes. Yes.
To be honest, I'm of the opinion that my roof, my rules. You are in your mom's house. We are not talking about, okay, she don't dare maybe a boyfriend house or she's in her own house. You are under your mom's roof. So I don't know, me I be old, I see myself as,
Mr. Kevin, Mr. Kevin, let me ask you a question. Wait, let me quickly address this. You said your roof, your rules, right?
Yes.
So when your parent comes to your house, why don't they always follow your rules? You know, I've had to actually... No, it's not different.
Can I ask
when my
something?
parent comes to my house, they are also a guest in my house, visiting my house. I have rules in my house. There are certain things I do not watch, and I don't want my mom to watch it because I don't like what it will present to my kids that will be watching it with her. But I have a way of communicating that to my mom, not shouting and binding and casting. Now, we don't know the reason why she ended up in her parents' house. I would like to believe that she used to have her home place and something happened to her and now she's back in the house. But from the video today, obviously she was leaving. She said she's moving out. If her mom didn't want her in the house, why was she preventing her from leaving? She wanted to leave. The mom didn't want her to go.
So can I say something?
The mom did not want her to go. Go on, Alaita, sorry. Oh, okay, Amara, go on. Then I can. You want to say something? No, say you wanted to say something. I wanted to say. Okay, but you see, the problem I have is that why are we not teaching our children to be good people? Why are we not teaching them to love?
Okay,
Exactly.
That's a good point. I like that.
That's a good question. Let me tell you something. Today, if my children say they don't want to do anything, the only thing I will emphasize is, are you a good person? Do you love yourself? Yes. The neighbor as yourself. How do you act to people? What do you do to people? There's something called karma. What goes around comes back around. Exactly. What is it? You are so right.
Don't forget that.
Sorry, darling. Everybody adds Jesus to this thing. Forget these basics. Common sense.
Okay, don't forget that based on what Daddy Free, can you hear me, sir?
Yes, we can hear you. We can hear you.
We can hear
she
you.
has something she wants to say, and she
don't
doesn't
forget
want to
that we're
lose
talking
her.
about abroad. This is not Nigeria now. Because I have lived in both sides. I'm currently in Canada, and I know how it works. How things work here in Canada. I don't know about the US, but I know over here. If you neglect your tradition, just know that is the end for you. That is the end for you and your children when it comes to being disciplined. You understand? So what I see there is.
But let me ask you a question, sir. Sorry. Is Christianity her tradition?
When I mean tradition,
to understand.
Sorry?
Is Christianity her... Hold on, before we say anything, she's been pinching me. She wants to say something.
Yes, please stop. Sorry.
You were about to say something about you said something like my house, my rules. Like, I hope, because I've been saying this thing since I was probably like 10, but like, you know, when she said her mom is narcissistic, abusive, the thing is, majority of Nigerian parents around that age are actually narcissists. If you Google the word and take your time to actually read what a narcissist is, because Nigerians don't really raise their children without thinking of their children as an extension of themselves. Do you understand? As crazy as, I'm not trying to be racist, no one should drag me, white people might be, a lot of Nigerian people are actually not very okay and at least I've never lived abroad, so please listen to me. A lot of Nigerian people are not okay. You can use tradition or whatever to back it up. But the thing is, whenever they say things like, oh, my house, my rules, that has always been the excuse to get you to do what they want. And now you can see tabling out because now she said she wants to leave and she said no. Why? Because you want her to follow your rules, whether she's in your house or not. It's always been the excuse. It's always been the lie that they told you and themselves. That's just how it is because Nigerian parents will never not see you as an extension of themselves. They see you in a way of, oh, don't make the mistakes I made, so I put you through this harsh path, or don't make this mistake because people are going to look at me and say, oh, like you said it to me
So
this
they try
afternoon,
to
like
live their
they
life
say
through
their
their
parents
children.
saw her leaving the house and that's what she was wearing. Do you understand? It's always about you.
They try to live
At
their
the end of
life
the
No,
through
day,
their children.
it's always
that
about them.
no, that is not what I really meant. See, what I mean is,
That's what I'm saying. For you, you might have imbibed it. Do you understand? And to you, because maybe you thought your parents could have been saying the truth. Do you understand? For you, it now became a thing, and that's what you believe it is, that my house, my rules. But most of the time, when parents have said that thing, they're just trying to make you do what they want you to do, and now you can see it actually happening. Now I don't want you to leave my house because why? My rules, my way or the highway. Like, but for you, you might actually mean it. So when they leave the house, they can do whatever they want.
But
But most of the
I
time,
want
but
that's
to
you
what they
correct
mean.
something. Mr.
no,
Captain,
wait, let me
correct
finish.
something you said.
Wait, yesterday, let me finish. Let me just finish.
Okay, finish, Mr. Captain.
But you know that there's a difference between tradition and religion. We all know that. Tradition is the way of life. Like for me, my wife is not Nigerian. My wife is from Jamaica, but she's born here in Canada. In fact, the first time my wife visit Nigeria, and me carry her, and me pay flight ticket, bring her come Nigeria, 2018. So she don't even know anything about Nigeria. But do you know that my wife can? In fact, my wife is more. I would say my wife is more Nigerian than a lot of Nigerians because she has. I don't welcome this tradition to her, right? The only way you can know that she's not Nigerian, okay, probably because of the accent a little bit, but she done a try for her pigeons most more. What am I trying to say? When you neglect your tradition, what I see in that video, that's what I'm just telling you. When you neglect some tradition, upbringing, we call it upbringing. You understand? These things, you must face these things. There's no way you can escape it, especially in abroad. You must face the consequences. I've seen video. My neighbor here, the 7 years old son called police on his dad because the dad used slippers stone the boy. The boy called police 911. He called police on the dad. The police they interviewed the dad like say they interrogate the dad like say the dad killed him or something. You know,
Can I say
so
something?
so it is very important to bring your tradition to it. I don't tell my wife, as soon as my daughter reach 4 years, she's going back to Nigeria for at least 2 years. Make they reset the brain. They need to reset the brain.
I do
Then come back
understand.
home. Then come back to Canada again. Stay here for like another 4 years. Go back to Nigeria. Make they reset. That resetting is very important. You cannot neglect that. That's what I'm trying to say in this on this life.
But you do know that there are instances in Nigeria between parents and children where I'm sure you as the kid, if the police in this country was good, you would have called the police. Instances where you know that the parents have
That is
beaten
why
their
we have
children to
advantage.
death.
That is why Nigeria is sweet now.
Why?
So-
Because wait, it's sweet because some parents have accidentally killed their children, beating them.
Culture. That is not culture.
That's not tradition. It's not right. But the thing is, by tradition, they
throwing-
wouldn't call. And the thing is, even if they did call, we don't have a
things
working
at your
security
children.
system.
I'm
In
not
fact,
talking
even
about
if the
discipline.
police
There's
did
difference
pick up,
between discipline.
they will ask you why you're calling the police. Why are you calling them on top of your papa?
Yes. There's people who we beat kids here too. So it's not like you don't beat them. But what I'm saying is that, like somebody said in the comment section, there could also be issue of health related stuff, mental health. And I actually discussed this morning in my house. And I said, let's say the mom said my daughter is not well. My daughter is not well. Okay, let's assume that she's not well. She has some mental health issue. It is our own duty. She can, in America here, you can get involuntary confinement. They will confine her to the mental health institution so she can get treatment. But before that happens, you have to report it that you think she's a danger to herself and to people around her, and then they can do mental health evaluation. And if the psychiatrist feels that yes, that's true, then they will, whether she likes it or not, they will get a court order and put her where she needs to be so she can get treated. Except that the mom is not doing this. She's trying to cast and bind and believe that her daughter is now the bride to Satan because she refused to be she didn't want to be a Christian. She never said anything, and nobody should say, oh, she shouldn't have called the police. That is the only way for her to get out of that house safely without pushing her mom down the stairs. If she refused to do that, the only option she will have is to push her mom aside, which she can eat her head, she can do whatever. But calling the police, at least she was able to get herself out of that house.
We all heard the video. You heard how she was talking to her mom. I mean, would they get issues with our parents now? That's not for me.
In Nigeria, where people are raised with both parents, that this doesn't happen. I have witnessed a lady slap her mother in Nigeria. It happens because there are so many. Let's be grateful that we are not from dysfunctional families. So just because we are not from dysfunctional family that we do that doesn't mean it doesn't exist in Nigeria. We see videos even on Instablog that you see children beating their parents. In that same Nigeria, where the culture is, where there are uncles and aunties and all the neighbors that can beat that child up, it happens. So so we just need to learn how to talk. I think communication was a big issue for both of them, and I really hope and I pray that they get healing in that family because it's needed. It's really needed.
Mama
Now, Yella wants to say something. Abuse is not tradition.
That's what somebody said. Right? But the thing is, tradition is abuse. You understand? A lot of tradition is abuse.
I don't agree with you,
The thing, I'm not saying all tradition is abuse, but there are some traditions that have been abused, and there are some traditions that are abused.
Explain.
Yes.
Make I go.
Okay, go hustle. We will enjoy you.
All right.
Go hustle. Now, you say that tradition is not abused. Can you explain?
All right, sir.
Yeah, but you explain what you understand by that.
Explain what you mean by tradition.
The thing is, someone said abuse is not tradition. What I understood was, is that really right? I was like, but there's some tradition, because the thing is, I never really even dived into all our traditions or what we do as a people, right? The only thing, anytime I hear tradition, do you know the thing that comes to my mind? I remember being a child and watching African Magic when my mom would be like, oh, don't watch African Magic. And you know that whole thing where, I don't know which tribe even does it, where you die and, the father dies and then they'll be like, they'll bath the man and then they'll be like, you drink his water. Like, that thing was stuck in my head for a very long time. Like, it's the only thing I remember. Once they say tradition, that's where my head goes. And I'm like, what kind of thing is that? Like, what if she didn't kill her husband?
What if she didn't buy her husband? Please help me.
I don't understand.
Well said.
Why does this happen? Do you understand? And then,
Yella, there is one thing we all should understand. The Bible was written by men, and tradition was written by men, and by men's ego. Let me tell you, you see, I'm not. I love tradition. I'm a traditional person, and I believe that there are good parts of tradition that we should take, and there are some bad parts that we should throw away. But the thing is that we are not trying to evolve at all. That's one thing that is my problem. We are not trying to evolve. What the British people did, and I'll say maybe some Chinese, what they did was they evolved over time. And tradition should be evolved over time. And some things should be thrown away over time. Bringing up your child to know your tradition is not wrong, but also the basis is love and having sense. Shikena. If you bring up your child in your own ways, like to know your tradition, to know who they are, it's called recognition. To recognize where they come from, to be proud of who they are. You understand me? it's not something that we shouldn't do it in a way that, you know, in the barbaric way, but making these kids understand their roots so that they can be proud of themselves. Because let me tell you something, whether we like it or not, I'm a stay-at-home mom. Whether we like it or not, children need to have identity crisis, and that thing is really bad. Mama choose.
It's real. It is real, and it happens really young. Like they start having it now.
Identity crisis, and that thing is traumatic for them. But making these kids understand where they come from, being proud of who they are, there's nothing wrong about it. But forcing them
is the forcing.
Is where the problem is. And not teaching them love. Not teaching them self-love. That is where the problem is.
All I know is their problem didn't start today.
Good afternoon, everyone.
I feel like identity crisis is when you
Thank you, Daddy Freeze, for bringing me on.
Hey, how you doing, sis?
I just actually checked Instagram not too long ago, and that was the first thing that popped up on my Instagram. As a matter of fact, I actually shed a tear. You know, I saw the first one. I think it was through Daddy Freeze's life as well. I saw the first one because somebody came on board, and I think Daddy Freeze was about to leave the life, and he mentioned it. So I went back on Instagram to check because that's where I get updated. I get updated over here. So the first one, I didn't really finish it because of the way the sound, you know, it was very hurtful. Being a mother, you know, being a single mom, I'm trying to think and put myself in the place of a mom. I couldn't finish watching the first video. Now, going on to this one that just happened, I shed a tear as I said so. Number one, I feel so sad for the mom. Number two, I feel so sad as well for the girl. Because A, she's 25. She has her choices. She has a right to life, right to religion, right to make decisions. But I still feel that it's all because it's a dysfunctional home. It's a dysfunctional home. There are a lot of issues that have been going on right before this stage. There's some mistakes that the mother might have made, you know, in training the child. There are some mistakes that, you know, the daughter as well, maybe at 25, she has a child. She's already a single mom at 25. She's also going through a whole lot at 25, being a single mother. You know, so what I would just say is, as parents living in the diaspora, we have a lot of work in our hands. And I always preach this thing that has happened, I always preach it to my friends. You cannot leave your children's training to school only. You cannot leave your children's training to after school program. We cannot afford to be lazy parents. Thank you. We cannot afford to be lazy parents. We have a lot of work in our shoulders. We have a lot of work on our hands. When I was in the US, my uncle used to tell me, now do my in Yoruba. Because I'm going to say one thing. My mother's family, out of all our siblings, about 8 of them, only my mother lived in Nigeria. The same thing, my dad's family, about maybe 9 of them, only my dad and 2 of his brothers lived in Nigeria. So I have that, you know, history of, okay, I have a lot of cousins that I won't say they're fully Nigerian. But to the glory of God, all of them have turned out well. God, they might not be able to speak Yoruba or speak the language, but they all turned out well. Why? I remember those days when I used to go to England at the age of 15. I would hear my auntie lock my cousin in the room. She will whip my auntie. I'll be like, hey, I'm not in Nigeria. I'm in Kent, UK now. What's going on here? I'm not saying, hey, there is stages to discipline. We need to learn this. There is a time to beat a child. There's a time to remove their door and remove that privacy from them. There's a time to whoop them only on their pants where they can get to school. They cannot even show their friends and say, today, my mom whipped my ass.
Hey,
and there's a time to say, you know what? Sorry, I forgot it on Instagram. And there's a time to say, sit down there. Call them at early in the morning and sit them down and talk to them. So parenting is in stages. Now, if you miss a stage of whooping, if you miss that stage, how do you want to, how do you want to think at that stage of you using your mouth only? So it's the stages. It's like you have it's like you have a plant. You're watering you're watering that plant. Then in a particular season, you leave that plant and the plant dies or it withers. You're not rushing to water it again. It might still pick up, but it won't flourish like the way you were watering it from the beginning. Please, we cannot afford to chase dollar, chase pounds, chase euro. I forget about the fundamental, the most important thing. Tell me, why did most of us come to overseas? Me, I know why I came. I came because of these children. And to the glory of God, I don't know how I do it. I'm a single mom, but to the glory of God, everywhere I go to, even in school, we feel young. I know how many awards my children has gotten. Tammy, bring me those awards for good conscience you guys got. I have to show it online. I don't know what I do. I don't spank these children. But I know what I do. In a year, I might spank them 3 or 4 times. They know before I carry, these are all the awards from school. This is even little. I've not even gotten anywhere. I'm telling, as my son is getting, my daughter is getting. Because, sorry, me, I show for the low. I have my auntie in the US, in America. She not become a nurse until the age of 15. She devoted all her life in America for her children. Chin Auntie Nisha. This is another one. Last year. Look at it. For what? Virtue of conscience. But I know that with prayers, with word of mouth, and with the right counseling, God has been helping me. Because me as a child, guys, go away. I was naughty as a child. But God has been helping me and sustaining me. I don't leave these children. Everybody knows. I'm bad me now, age. Everywhere I'm going, I carry them. There's a time to leave them. My son is 13. He's going to high school. Do you know? And let me tell you the things that have worked for me. At the age of 5, I remember playing a video of one boy that went to school and opened his mouth and said that his parents beat him. And the boy ran back home. I don't know how many people know that video. The boy ran back home in England. It's a British video. He ran back home and went back to his bunk saying he wasn't leaving. Police came and took him out of the house. The father was crying, the mother was crying. So this thing, is not only by talking. They're attacking their brain. You know the way they attack the brains of those children in Yemen? That they now believe that I can go and bomb the whole world. They're attacking them with videos, with word of mouth. My son right now, I go on YouTube, I play correctional, juvenile jail. That's what I'm playing to him right now. Yes, he's prepping. He's prepping. He's prepping.
Yes.
Everything is there.
Yes. 100%.
So I go on YouTube and I play these things on YouTube. So he's there. And I tell him, it's your choice. So if you get to high school and you make back friends, see where they land. You see them? Are they taller than you? And my son is tall. Taller than me already. He's about 5'10", 5'11", or 13. So when you see him, you think he's 16. So those things, not to scare them, but they have it in mind. And on YouTube, I saw a school, I can't remember the state in America, that took the children to juvenile jail for excursion. And the children, all of them were so scared. When I'm playing this video sometimes, my children come to me, they cling to me. They can't watch it because they're scared. Well, I don't know what. I'm not telling them, oh, you don't worry, we're just watching, we just want to see, But where is in his head already that if I make bad friends, I might end up here. If I make good friends, and I told myself, don't be scared of high school. The same way you're a good boy, there are many good children there too. Exactly. I'm not showing you these things so you know. Because there's a place for you just talking, and there's a place for them seeing that this is reality. And as I said, the way they sit people down to go through, become terrorists. I'm sorry, sister, I don't know if it's the right word.
Just leave it because of community guidelines. They don't like us talking about all these kind of things.
Okay. Sorry about that. The way problem. They just change their mind, they change their mind in different ways. So that is it. So back to what we're saying. Please, Nigerians, you hear Spanish people that you don't speak Spanish. You will see Chinese, they will speak their language. Filipino will talk in home. Thank you. Sri Lanka will come, but you say Nigerian. How many you say Yoruba? Yoruba ba wa no Igbo. What are we doing? Yoruba Ronu, Igbo Ronu, Hausa Ronu. This is not our land. We only came here for greener pastures. We cannot continue to chase dollar. If mommy is chasing dollar, let daddy, let somebody stay at home. Both of us can be working 14 hours together, 16 hours together. It's not possible. And your life result in your learning. I'm very pained, and I pray that the peace of the Lord will reign in that home. But number one, the tone at which that girl was talking. In fact, I was praying to my children when they came from school. My son couldn't hear it. My son ran away. He said, "Mommy, that's so harsh. That's so toxic." He couldn't hear it.
You said it.
He couldn't hear it.
You raise our child. You don't raise a 25-year-old. You raise a little child. She's not a little child anymore. She's a grown woman that already have her own child.
Yetunde, your voice is not coming out well, and I want to hear this thing you are saying.
Okay, maybe because I think maybe you guys should mute yourselves. Then maybe.
Okay.
I said Yoruba say tomore. Even the Bible says tomore kole fun enisimi. That means train your child so you can have peace of mind. The story, like I said too, the story didn't start today. You can't raise a 25-year-old. That is wrong. You can't raise a 25-year-old. 25-year-old is grown. You can raise a 2-year-old, a 3-year-old. If my daughter, if I want to be that, they're no born my picking where they call me from school that Zina did she knows that Kotobe. Even when I pick her up from school and she's like, the first question, I don't, just because you said it doesn't mean I have to. And then I will ask her, so what happened? Why did they do that to you? They should be the one, they should want to start changing story. I said, no, there are so many holes in it, I can poke it already. So start telling me exactly what happened. And then she will be the one to tell herself. Me, I have a way of punishing, like my sister here said. She will stool down. I have video documentation of all that kind of punishment. Because I'm like, I can't be, this American, now they will see one mark now. The teacher will say this day, or my child, I will go pick my child from school, and the child is like this, and they're asking, are you scared of going home? What's happening at home? And all of this stuff. And I don't want my child to be scared of me. But I also want to put discipline there. I want my child to know if you do something, you will be disciplined. I'm not going to kill you like the way I was whooped in Nigeria, but I'm going to discipline you. If it's to stool down, of course you will do that. If it's to do frog job, you will do the frog job. Even my 3-year-old, if you want to discipline 3-year-old, it's just 3 minutes. Face the wall for 3 minutes. And if you don't face that wall, your 3 minutes start again. Because so there are so many things we can do. We need to evolve as Africans. Everything is not by noise or by shouting or by doing stuff. My kids go to Nigeria. My 3-year-old has never been to Nigeria because I had her during COVID, so she's never been. But my firstborn, in fact, she's been going to Nigeria since she was 12 months old. She will go for months with her grandma. It's just when she now enters kindergarten, she can't do all of that anymore. So, but in the summer, I try to say, you know what, every summer, I want my kids to go to Nigeria because I want that culture. I want them to get the culture. Not the abuse, but I want them to get the culture, to know where they come from. And again, I also want them to know that what I give you, not everybody have that opportunity. So appreciate the life that we are giving you. Appreciate it. And I'm also grateful. I have my mother here. My mother will tell her, Zina, do you eat it? No, I don't want to eat this. I can't drink the milk. I'm just going to throw it away. My mom will be like, do you know how many kids in Africa that wish they can get this? So she
now, I wanted to say something.
Even here, my mom says, you know how many kids out there that are hungry? So you
now let me say something, yeah. Let us not depart from the toxicity of the mother. You see, a lot of us are looking at tradition.
No, we are just addressing
We are addressing the tradition. Oh yes, abroad children are not well brought up, or whatever it is. You have no right to force a 20. Me, when I was 25, nobody did, for this Naija where parents they mad. Nobody they tell me anything. No. For this, forget abroad, for this Nigeria. Till now, if my parents do something wrong, now me that they caution to call them to order.
Children are crazy abroad, parents are crazy in Nigeria.
You know, children are crazy abroad, parents are
Parents are
crazy in
crazy in
Nigeria.
Nigeria.
My own parents, they are very well low. Because you cannot carry madness and come and meet me. As you are coming, I'll be curing it for you. This girl, this waiting this girl do. Go ask my mama and my papa. This one.
My mom don't even do it with me.
Ah. My father stopped. My father used to believe that it's good to be a disciplinarian. So if my papa won't flog you, go flog you outside. So people they tell me that yes, say why they allow your papa they flog you outside, make you beg and make you carry you enter room. One day I just think I say beg waiting. The next day my papa start to flog me outside. I know say I no fit touch her, I no fit beat her, but this my mouth, nothing where I no talk. My papa go come they chase me around compound. I come they do hey, everybody come they clap. I was entertainment. TikTok no day, Instagram no day. I don't shout for am, I no abuse am, but I dey drop some punchlines. When he talk one thing, I go just say, but daddy, why you no do am like this? Now me they talk to, you go rush me, I go just dodge am. The whole crowd will say, eh. If ground for swallow my father, the ground for swallow am. By the time I did it twice, he never beat me in public again. As in, that day he come out, he nearly kill me for inside house, but not inside house. After a while, I do something wrong by mistake outside. One guy say, tell my papa, say, why your son do like this? You supposed beat him. My papa just like, say, just calm down now. Everything where we cook inside house, the whole estate go know, say, the whole area go know wetin we dey do. Just calm down, leave him. I go talk to him when I reach inside house. Because then religion, the worst one was, they used to wake us up every day. My papa will come at your door every day to wake you up at 5 a.m. to go and pray. Papa, now when me and religion problem starts with that, I dey always tell them, see, God was made in my image. If I dey tire, God too dey tire. God no one here. No be the same thing where you talk yesterday, I won't come talk again. You get another thing where you want to tell God. You be CNN, you won't give God breaking news. No be the same matter you carry on day before yesterday. Today, just let God rest. My father said, God does not rest. God, I say, okay, my own God, they rest. I don't know about your own God, my own, they rest. Then we'll start argument, I no go agree. I no go agree. One day I just tell them, say, any day when they wake, when I want to talk to this your God, make una not call me, because now I no get anything I want to tell you na God. They go call this thing. I went through it. Say you must be a demon. I am a demon. You are going to hell. That's exactly where I'm going. As they talk, I tell them, it's just that my own voice harsh, but the girl na gentle girl. Oh.
She was even trying to be quiet.
The girl was even trying to be quiet. So all these things, brother, Papa, we dey see am for Naija well. And my first fight with my parents when I was like 21, 22 was this over religion. Una never say anything for una life. Not be once a week when you do prayer meeting. Let me tell you, hold on, make I give you my religious background. My father was Muslim. So Monday to Friday, una must wake up in the morning to go to mosque. Friday, una must go service, Jumat service. Then Sunday, because they came up with a theory in the mosque that Christians are stealing away Muslims and converting them, they now started having Muslim Sunday service on Sunday. I don't know if you guys experienced it. So we did. Then on Wednesday night into Thursday, they do Tajud. That's overnight night vigil, Muslim night vigil. Baba.
Every Wednesday?
Every Wednesday was night vigil. Every Friday was service. Every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, you must go to the mosque in the morning to pray. Our house not far from mosque, not like from here to swimming pool. That's how close the mosque was to the house. One day I just look at him and say, I didn't mind the Tajud actually. At that time I had not left Islam. I didn't mind the Tajud. I didn't mind the Friday service. I didn't like the Sunday one because it's now turning to every day. Then I believed that I could pray on my own when I felt like. They said, no. He must be like this. So one day I said, you know what? At the Friday, at the Wednesday, at the
you have
Sunday,
if you have
I'm
a
not doing
format of
any
praying-
again. Finish.
If you have a format of praying as a Muslim, can you pray at another time?
No, well, yeah, if you are busy, but you're supposed to pray at now. Now, here's the thing: two issues I had with Islam. One, the force with which they used to train us. It was never a this is your faith, understand it. I liked Islam. It made a lot of sense in many places. And I still use some of the things I learned from Islam. Oh, I don't forget we they go Ilekeu. So it was like it was just God from morning to night. And I was like, I need to give this guy a break. You understand? And when I said I wasn't doing it again, I went from 0 to nothing. As in from 100 to nothing. I said anything when I want to do, she's not go bury me. If you not buy me, not go bury me. I know they do again. In fact, God no exist again. Finish. So it was tough. But after a while, when they saw that I did not agree. I said no. If I say I don't want, there's no God. Finish, leave me. I don't care. I don't believe. So later on in life, I now had problems. I had some issues in school. My ex now dragged me into Pentecostalism, where I spent the next 15 years. So that is why I also tell children that, you see, that story of I don't have a religion, I don't have it, they will carry you enter where, like. So I had a 15-year journey in Pentecostalism, which was not wasted because I also learned a lot. I also mugu my mugu. I pay my tithe. They chop me well. But you see, it also was part of my learning curve. So here's the thing. I think the mother is too overly concerned about the child's spirituality. By 25, you are no longer, if your child is wayward at 16, it can be counted as a sin for the parent. But at 25, your child's waywardness is not your business anymore. You have done your best. And maybe if the mother was less toxic and more explanatory, there's a way you win people over to religion. You cannot use, you see, you use force for religion when they are young. But by the time they reach 21, 22, a problem you define.
And even the force, I feel like it has to be some form of manipulation.
Even the manipulation, you've got to be careful.
That's
because
the thing, manipulation is careful, force is not.
Yes.
You have to actually manipulate your child into, I don't know. I used to see results from what I believe. Like, I used to see results, and I don't know why. It wasn't even like mommy's doing. In my mind, anything I prayed for just used to happen. Like anything, I pray for just.
That's the thing, yeah. That's the thing, and that's why I think I can't.
And you see, sorry, let me cut her, and just before you come in, Yetunde, let me just end with this. Many of us have believed religion to be the answering of prayers. No,
but the
devil, they answer prayers.
Yeah, at some point I also understood that devils do also answer prayers. And the thing is, anytime God didn't answer my prayer, I was just like, it's okay. In my mind, it's like, it's okay. Better luck next time.
You know what? And that's the Pentecostal movement. That's the whole ideology. God is here. And you see, the moment you look around Nigeria, you see the lack of evidence of answered prayers. Yes, you ask God to do little things, but you see the major things, so that you don't need those little things. You are coming home one day and you are praying, God, please let me get home safe and sound. If Nigeria were fixed and the society was working, I don't pray to God in the UK to get home safe and sound. When I was in the UK, I got into a car with taste buds. I don't drink small, so I don't log out, sleep. PT, they on top phone, they follow me talk. We just, we're just talking. I did not hear a word he said from a 1 hour plus ride. Taste buds no fit sleep, she dey fear. So what if they kidnap us? I say kidnap us for London. Man, let's try go. Niger, anything where I like drink. Now so my eye will open gidigba. Any small thing, blood. Oh, hallelujah. You see, so sometimes those little prayer points that looks like answered prayers of God is because we have failed in fixing our society.
But at the same time, I was very transactional in the way I believed in God.
And that is Pentecostalism.
Not transactional in the terms of money. I used to fight mommy as a child. Like, why would I give money to God who lives in a place that they said is, I don't know, the floor. is made of gold. Like, it just, that thing didn't make sense. I used to hide my money and use it to buy ice cream, and my mom used to like beat me for that. But like, it never made sense to me. Transactional in the sense of, like, let's say my mom asked me a question and I know I'm about to lie right now, and I'm already thinking of that doll that I want. It's like, if I lie now, God would not give me that doll. That's how I was thinking. Like, do what God said you should do. And like, because I was very imaginative. So like sometimes I would only pray because God will now think I only talk to him when I want something. So it's like, oh, how are you? Like, that kind of, I used to think like that. So I was the kind of person who would wear a pair of shoes I didn't like because I didn't want the pair of shoes to feel bad.
Mm,
And
I used to
so
be like that too.
so that's how God was in my mind, like an imaginary friend.
Mm, mm, mm.
But that whole thing of giving him money, that didn't make
It,
sense to me.
it, it,
That
it's
like, why would you
it,
need money?
it's tempting is to do. So when we go for what they do when I'm trying to give money,
Mhm.
even if it's, they'll be like, Mom, why are you wasting your money? It, the
Hawamola.
God is rich. Look at everywhere looks really cool. No, that's what they
Sometimes I used to
tell me.
think that God was rich.
Yeah,
God is
yes.
rich. He just doesn't know how to manage money very well, according to
I,
what the Pentecostal doctrine makes him look like.
I had to explain to my kids. I say, we go to the Catholic Church. All this money goes into donations to help, like your schools, your the orphanage and other things. So I'm not just giving money to make God rich, but I'm just donating money in order to donate towards the charity that they do. And they were like, okay, but my money. That's what they just told me.
Yeah, that's how I was. And then
I
after
was
that,
Daddy freeze.
after my mom
Okay.
explained
After
that
my
to
mom
me,
explained that to me,
I only started dropping the
I only
money in the
started
ballot
dropping
box
the
so
money in
that
the
God
ballot
will
box
give
so
me
that
what I
God
think
will
He's
give
going
me
to
what
give
I
me
think is going to
later. So it won't be that
later. So
I
it
hid
won't
the
be
money.
that
Because
I
sometimes,
hit
even
the
if I
money.
do
Because
something
sometimes
that
even
might
if I
look
do
wrong, in my mind, I'm like, but He said God sees our hearts. He understands why I did this.
Mm.
He knows why I did this. Like, it's
that's
not
why
really
I did
wrong,
this.
is
Like
it? They didn't say it in the Bible that it was wrong.
Hey.
Like, I don't know. I just used to
like,
think
I
like
don't know. I
that.
just Okay, can I come in now?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, because I need to go. So back to today's topic. Okay, I wouldn't want us to blame the mother. Okay, that's just a typical African mother.
Yeah, but
Do you
typical
understand?
African
That's
is
what typical
wrong.
African is
That
wrong.
and that's not typical
Yeah, but the
African.
thing is,
That is typical
Doctor,
brainwashed African. We have to add it.
I
Our
know, but
ancestors were not
but the
like
thing,
that.
I know, but the thing is, okay, it is what it is. Okay, we're just trying to evolve gradually. Maybe over time, and I pray that peace reigns in that home. I'm praying that they find they find a balance, and the mother also understands. Maybe this is what is going to also change the mom's mindset. Then on the other hand as well, I won't blame that girl. At 25, I got married at 25. So having been a single mom at 25, and the way I hear that child, she's about 3 or 4. So probably she had the child at 21. Number one, she's dealing with being heartbroken, being a single mom, having emotional stress, everything. Maybe that was what led her to practicing the religion she's doing right now. So it's lack of communication in that home. And sometimes as a Nigerian mom, I don't think me too. I think my feet. Let me see Yoruba here. I think mama feet tarashe because the young all feet tarashe ni. God forbid my daughter coming home at that age and telling me, "Mommy, this is it." My feet tarashe because at that point, it's not every mother. It's a reflex action. Ni. Not every mother would sit back and say, okay, no problem, the Lord will help you. No, it's a reflex. And the mother's mind is already going, I've been a single mother for maybe I don't know how long she's been single. Oh, their father is probably dead. The father has gone so many years. I've suffered so much on this child. Blah, blah, blah. Different things that are coming up in her head. So right now that she has moved out of the house, I'm hoping at this point there'll be some sort of peace. She can think. The other daughter as well can think, and they can strike a balance. I pray peace reigns in the home because it's very, very heartbreaking. Anyways, Dr. Freeze, thank you for inviting me to your live. I need
Thank
to
you,
go
my
now.
darling.
Nice
Thank you
meeting
for
everyone.
coming.
All right.
Do have fun.
Okay. Do have fun. All right. Thank
Final
you.
notes, everyone, as we go. Hey, double click my screen, pop my money gone. Stinjos. All right, Mama Tuzi, your thoughts.
Yeah, no, I know that somebody was saying that somebody wrote a comment and said we are encouraging bad attitude, and that's not what nobody is saying that. Um, the first video when it came out, I said she should have just kept quiet and just let her mom keep talking, because even me growing up, if my mom is saying something and I'm getting angry and I know my voice is this is how I've always my voice is like you know that Free said the other I think is the bad blood in us. And I want to say something that I know that will extend my yatima jeba ishi ajegiti. So I will just be humming. Even the humming pieces are off. So I just need to just calm down. I just keep quiet so I don't get double beating. So I think she should have done that. But she did say today that people should go on her page and they will see documentary evidence of what they've been going through, both her and her mom. So I think this is not just a last week, 2 weeks kind of thing. I think it's like something that's been going on for years. I would not be surprised they've never had a good relationship. I don't think so. And it's also possible that it was out of necessity that she went back to her mother's house. If she had a choice, she probably wouldn't have gone back to her mother's house. So from the way I see it. And I don't blame the mom, of course, like my sister said, that, you know, itara more and everything. Yes, itara more, but at some point, as a parent, we need to let go.
We need to
know
let
when
go.
to let go. You know, when I was growing up, since I was a little child, I've always uh, been, I've always said, what do you want to be? I'm always saying, I want to be a doctor. I want to be a doctor. That has always been my thing since I can ever remember. I'm always sickly. I'm always having malaria. It's like every week I have malaria in Ibadan. And that phrase will know, Oni and Son, the hospital. That's my hospital right there. Every time I'm always there. And you know, the doctors there, I think it's because of the doctors there. That was when Nigeria was like excellent healthcare. And because of them, I'm always like, I want to be a doctor. I want to be a doctor. So when my dad even sent me here, it was for medicine. And that was what I did undergrad. But then when I finished my degree, and I told my dad, I said, I want to change to nursing because already the amount of money that I was paying for my pre-med, I did biology pre-med for undergrad with a minor in chemistry, so and then another minor in psychology. So I will almost add like 2 degrees. This thing. And I told my dad, I said, I want to do nursing. And my dad did not push and say, oh, no, you must do this. I sent you to go and do. What my dad asked was, why do you want to switch to what you want to do? That's all he asked me. And it gave me opportunity to say why I think I want to do that. I told him, I said the cost. Secondly, because with nursing, for the kind of person I am, I will get bored with whatever area of specialty I have. With nursing, it's easy for me to move from one to another. I want to be a nurse practitioner. And over the years, my life has actually changed. Even from that nurse practitioner, now I'm like, I don't want to be a nurse practitioner. I am a policy person and management. I want to be in policy. I want to be where they are making the policy. And I went that route. But because as a child, you are still growing, you need guidance. As a parent, your job is not to say, this is what you should do, this is what you should do. Your job is to help us, guide us, help us see it. We tell you this is what we want, and then you say, okay, you know what? Let me help you with this. This is this, this is this. Now you have a choice. Because we have a child now that is going to be starting her master's next year, and I'm helping her do her application, and my daughter in Nigeria. And I'm helping her do her applications down. We are applying to so many schools. She did international relations from Babcock. And she's like, okay, I want to do this. And I said, you know, I know you want to do international relations. You already did it as undergrad, but you are going for graduate school now. So what exactly do you want to do? What do you like to do? And she told me, she said this. I said, okay, why not do this? Why not add something to it? Do your political, she said she wants to be humanitarian and environmentalist and all of that. So I said, okay, there are so many things, and we put out everything, explain to her, help her navigate it, but we did not choose for her. Left to her grandma that raised her, which is my mother-in-law, that raised her, she wanted her to do law. My daughter didn't want law. She did not want to be a lawyer. But which the good thing is, she had me, she had a dad that supported her, and her uncles in Nigeria and aunties that said, no, let her do what she likes. She doesn't want to do law. She doesn't want to do law. And nobody is forcing it because, you know, I grew up with father that was liberal that never forced anything on me. And it was easy for me to communicate with my dad than my mom, by the way. But my mom now, she grew to be more accepting and more understanding and listen and not just like, So, but my dad was actually the bedrock of, okay, let's listen. You are, okay, I will teach, I will show you this. And then you can make your decision. I will support you. So like what Yela said, it's not about manipulating your child in a sense, and that's where I agree with Daddy Freeze. It's more of a communication thing. A religion is supposed to be, it's like Islam, original Islam is a way of life. It's people seeing my way of life. That is what is supposed to make them want to be a Muslim. Not that me teaching my child to go to madrasa.
Anyway, guys, we've been on for 2 hours. Let us get some rest. I'm exhausted, and I'm still coming back in a few minutes. Thank you guys so much, Mama Tuzi. God bless you. Folaito, God bless you. Regards to your lovely son, Mama Tuzi. Thank you for the love. Yella, Ishe.
Yala, thank you for bringing fun, excitement to this group tonight, because it's really nice to talk to people that are younger and you can hear their opinion, because I think that opinion is highly needed right now. It's favorable because, like you said, Daddy Freeze, Africa needs to evolve, not to the negative side. We want to hear brilliant minds like yours and Olaiton's son, because, oh my goodness, that just blew me away with the science. Is the STEM mind. I love STEM. Now I'm like, okay, I need to get your address and buy him some STEM stuff and send to that UK. Because I love science. I'm a science person and I love science, and that is I'm so impressed. I'm so happy about that. So great job, Mama.
All right, guys. See y'all soon. Take care and God bless.
Bye.